In this tutorial, we are going to go through the process of installing the QGIS software. In this folder, you can see that I have a couple of software that I have downloaded before now. You can see the one I just downloaded, which is of course the QGIS old version stable release, which is QGIS 3.22.9-2. That's the old release, which is stable. Whereas the current release, as of the time of the making of this tutorial, I also downloaded, which is QGIS 3.26.1-2. So to install, you double click on the software or you right click and select install. This install. So once you click on install, it will begin to install. But like I said, if you right click, if you double click on it, it will start installing. But let's click, go to the menu, the context menu, click install, and the process begins. It's still trying to commence. Now it's starting preparing to install. Now the process begins. It is not yet fully ready because I cannot click next. Next is not highlighted. Now it's ready to move on. So now you click the next button here. Once you click the next button, it takes you to this region where it has the licensing information, what you need to agree to before you can use the software. Well, I'm not going to go through all of these, it's a whole lot, but usually we don't go through it, we just accept whatever. Well, so I'll accept as usual, but sometimes it can be crazy to accept things you don't know. But once you click the accept button, this is not clicked as yet here. Once you click on it, you see the blue line, the blue tick line comes in within the box. So you're ready to move to the next step. If it's not selected, you can't move to the next step. Once you select it, now the next is highlighted. So you click next. You can change where the software gets installed. You can click change and select a folder, a different folder altogether, but I will want to leave it in the C drive on that program file. So no point changing that. So with the desktop, I want to have a shortcut on the desktop. Also want to be able to access it from the start menu. So I will click next. Now the installation is now meant to begin, but until I click this install button here, it won't install. So it said click install to begin installation. So you click install, and then it begins. It might take a while, but I don't think it will. It depends on how much your system is loaded. If it's slow, then it will take a while. If it's not really that slow, then it won't really take that much of a while. My system is virtually uh, the hard disk is virtually full at the moment, but I don't really think it will take a while that much. So it loads this window where it now needs me to accept that I really want to kind of install the software. So it's either if you say no, it will abort the process. Yes, is what I want to do. So it commences the installation right away. Now you can see that the green line is already moving, which shows that the installation is ongoing and it's quite rapid, as you can see. Not so rapid, but then not slow either. It's just a couple of seconds, barely a minute, and the entire line will be active. So the next is not yet active because it's not yet moved through this process yet. So when the green gets to where it ought to get to, then the next will be activated, which means I can now move to the next stage in the installation process. Still going. You may note that if your system is not really up to date, it might require that maybe you might say that there are some applications that are missing that you may need to accept to download in addition to what you've already downloaded. So you should have internet access while you're doing this just to make sure that um, you don't really get bogged up along the way. It's still going through, move through one stage, now in the next stage. And of course, the status states that is updating components. Now, status copying new files is a heavy file anyway. It's about 1 gigabyte, so that's quite a lot. So it will take a lot to unpack and then load the files where they should be loaded. And then you know that the process has come to an end. But of course, it's straightforward. All you need to do is to click the appropriate button and you just keep moving. It's not really that technical a thing. Still going, as you can see. Copying your file still. Hopefully, it's virtually done. Registering product now. Now it's done. So the finish button is now active. So once I click this finish, then the download is complete. So finish and download is complete. So you have already, an installation is complete rather than a download. So the application is now fully installed in your system. I might choose to also install the more current version, but you don't need to do that. Think sometimes you can install different versions and still have them within your system. It takes up a lot of space, but the idea is that the current version has a lot more, much more utility than the older version. But of course, it's not really, it may not be as stable as the older version. That's why I installed the older version rather than the newer one, which should have better uh, operationality. Um, so we'll see in the next stage where we'll now talk about how to use the software to generate your maps.